We are going to be calculating the speed of light through plastic using the equation N equals C, which is the speed of light in air or a vacuum, and the velocity of light in a substance that is not air or a vacuum. The speed of light we're going to use for air in a vacuum is going to be 3 times 10 to the 8th. Using this equation and knowing the index of refraction for plastic, where N is the index of refraction, we're solving for V of S in this equation. So plastic has an index of 1.46, C is equal to 3 times 10 to the 8th, and V of S is what I'm solving for. Using this equation, I'm solving for V of S, and the rearranged equation is going to be V of S equal 3 times 10 to the 8th divided by 1.46, and your result will be V of S equal 2.05 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. Next, we're going to find the speed of light through a sapphire. We are still going to be using the same equation that we just used, N equals C over Vs. If we look in the table, N for sapphire is 1.77. Speed of light in air is still going to be 3 times 10 to the 8th. N equals C over Vs. We're solving for Vs, so that's going to make it V of S equals C divided by N. V of S will equal 3 times 10 to the 8th. Don't forget those parentheses. Divided by 1.77. And V of S will equal 1.69 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. Next problem is what substance causes light to slow to 1.875 times 10 to the 8th. We are solving for the index of refraction here, C over Vs. This time I'm giving you the V of S, and we still know what C is going to be in air, and that's going to be 3 times 10 to the 8th. So the math will be 3 times 10 to the 8th divided by 1.875 times 10 to the 8th. Don't forget those parentheses, and is going to equal 1.60. If I look in my table, that's going to mean the substance is emerald. The last problem is going to be set up. This horizontal line will represent the mirror. I'm going to draw the normal. Remember that perpendicular line is called the normal. I have a ray of light hitting the mirror, and so I could change that to a different color. Here's my ray of light. Remember, the incident angle is this one between the normal, this is the normal, and the ray of light. I'm being given the angle between the mirror and the ray, and it's telling me that is 59 degrees. This space from the mirror to the normal is going to be 90 degrees. So I've got to do 90 minus 59 to find out what the incident angle is. So in this case, the incident angle is going to be 90 minus 59, and that's going to make the incident angle 31 degrees. The reflected angle, because it's a smooth surface, will end up being the same value. So the incident angle is 31 degrees and the reflected angle is also 31 degrees. In the next problem, we are solving for a ray of light that's incident on an amethyst crystal. So make sure that you're drawing the picture. This top substance is going to be air, and this is going to be amethyst. I'm going to draw the normal as that perpendicular line, and then I'm always going to draw the ray of light coming from the left and passing into the refracted substance, which in this case is going to be amethyst. The ray of light is incident on an amethyst crystal. So incident angle is going to be 22 degrees. Air has an index of refraction of 1. Amethyst has an index of refraction of 1.55. This is going to be a Snell's law problem and also a reflected angle problem. So the reflected angle is going to bounce off of the substance, and we know that we are going to measure the angle from the ray to the normal. And remember, this line is the normal. We also measure the angle between the normal and the reflected ray. So over here on the right, that's going to be my reflected ray. And the angle for the reflected ray is going to equal the incident angle, and that's going to be 22 degrees. I can then calculate the refracted angle using Snell's law. Snell's law is N1 sine of theta 1 equal N2 sine theta 2. This is the incident side. This is the refracted side. So everything in the top above the horizontal line will be on the left side of the equation. So let's fill that in. 1 sine of 22. Everything below the horizontal line will be on the refracted side. So that's going to be 1.55 sine of theta. I'm solving for theta, so let me rearrange this. 1 sine of 22 divided by 1.55 equals sine of theta. And then because I am solving for the angle, this is the final form of this. Theta equal inverse sine of sine 22 divided by 1.55. And when you solve for the angle, the refracted angle will be 14 degrees. The next problem is asking you to solve for the critical angle of amber. So the equation you're going to use to solve for critical angle is theta c equal inverse sine of nr over ni. In a critical angle problem, you're going to be having light going from the more dense substance, in this case amber, and trying to exit into a less dense substance. In this case, because it's not mentioned, it will be air. We live in an air-filled world. The opposite other substance is going to be air if it's not mentioned. To solve for the critical angle, theta c, you're going to need the incident substance. So where does the light start? This is the Ni. And when you look that up in the table, that's going to be 1.53. The refracted substance would be air. And so theta c is going to be the second sine of the refracted substance divided by the incident substance. This ratio, nr, is always going to be less than ni. So in that fraction, the smaller number will always go in the top of that fraction. When you solve for critical angle, you're going to end up with a critical angle of 40.8 degrees. Last example, we're doing another critical angle calculation. We're going to do the same math. And this time it's going to be sapphire instead of amber. Inverse sine 1. Again, the other substance is air if it's not mentioned in my table. The index of refraction for sapphire is 1.77. Do second sine, 1 divided by 1.77, and your critical angle is going to be 34.4 degrees.